You're in the state that I feel like this woman is, and what I believe the state Charlie Kirk was in, is that you just haven't seen enough of the world, and you don't have to see more. You don't have to see people suffering. Like you can very much choose to be in, your tight, super tight knit, wealthy community, and so you never have to come to grips with, oh, I might have been wrong about this, or ooh, this is a little bit more complicated than I thought it was. And yeah, I think that's honestly the saddest part of all of it is I think it just takes living more life to get out of this, but too many people choose comfort, and because this is very comfortable being this person. Like, it is, like, you're not exposing yourself to fucking raw humanity. You're staying fucking sheltered. Skyfly Sriracha says they have to see it to believe it. What about their God? That's a good point. I think it's just that's the exception for them, I think. But a lot of it is kind of the, what do you call it? It's a little fucking conspiratorial brained, I think. You know? Like flat Earth. Like empathy is flat Earth to them. You know what I mean? I might need to rework that one in my brain. That's the first time I've said that, so don't fucking quote me on that one. Flower says, isn't it a little naive to think Charlie didn't know what was happening on the other side of the tracks? I'm not familiar with that phrase. But I think I know what you're saying. I don't think it's naive. I legit don't think I think he might see things, like, sure, he's like aware of statistics that he doesn't like or that don't bolster his argument in a debate. But what I'm saying is I don't think he ever had an experience that made him go, fuck, this is wrong what I'm doing. Like, there is so much more to this. And I think that is part of, like, living the life and, like, seeing things face to face. And yeah, I mean, it's like you can see how his upbringing. Like, he was raised by two relatively wealthy parents in Chicago. He did really well in school. He was like writing for like the fucking Daily Beast or something when he was 16. He was a Fox News contributor by the time he was 18. He was going to college campuses and fucking grinding the capitalist dream. So, like, he did not, like, he just immediately went into, like, the conservative fucking system. And I imagine he was only surrounded by his people. And if he was surrounded by other people at any point, it was just in the form of debate. It wasn't trying to, like, learn from other people and hear their experiences and figure out why he might be wrong or right and challenge himself. It was just for the purpose of figuring out how to out-debate them. That's it. And when you're focused on that, is like, how do I win this argument? You're really not, like, looking at the reality of the situation. I disagree. I don't think he had any qualms over being wrong. And you can see in the debates with competent people that he was never willing to change his mind. Wait, I think I'm reading this wrong. I don't think he had any qualms over being wrong. And you can see in debates with competent people that he was never willing to change his mind. It kind of feels like those are at odds, but yeah. Maybe you can retype it for my slow brain. He had no way of comprehending what life was like outside of his sphere of whiteness. Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't think it was too complicated. I just don't think he was that interested in having new and different experiences. I think he was, like, from day fucking one, he was young. This guy was young. He was 33 or some shit. And, like, he was already conservatively politically minded at like the age of 16. He grew up with this ideology. So like he didn't really have much of a back and forth. He was arguing for this shit super early on. And he only got more conservative with time. You can look at some of the things that he said early on, and he was always talking early in his career about Turning Point being a secular like organization, and we don't push God and shit on people, and we always take this secular view. In the last fucking 5 years of it, he was all about like being super religious about all Turning Point was doing. So yeah, it only got more that way with time, and I think that's one of the reasons I didn't really have any hope for this guy like turning over a new leaf. Like maybe he could with time if he after he essentially won the presidential election for Trump and he was advocating for all these things and seeing how shit things are becoming, maybe he could have had a come to Jesus moment at some point, but I doubt it. Oh, he would have had not been getting money, I feel. Is religion the death shot to conservative being open to ideas? They always start out libertarian until they succeed and show their true colors. For him, debate was just he gets to say what he wants and make money off of it. I do not think he has ever had his mind changed about shit from debate. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he was getting paid to stay that way. That's true. It's hard because I definitely project a little bit in these cases, and I'm like, oh, there were like he was interested in discovering things. He was just maybe mistaken. It's like, no, he just like he got fucking worse and worse, and money doesn't make it any fucking better. Getting paid to do it, and it's beyond that, right? He's trying to like preach this shit before he knows how to wipe his own ass. He's preaching this shit to college students. He's like, the colleges are too woke. That was the whole point of Turning Point USA. He was thinking that these college campuses were turning people woke. And he's like, we need more conservative ideology on these campuses. It's like he was fucking going hard. Question, were you ever denying aspects of history in relation to race? No. No. I'm trying to think. Because I definitely was confused for sure. I think I just had a lot of these very surface level, like unempathetic views about things. Like very into the idea of like everyone gets a fair shot, you know, in life and in America. And that, you know, yeah, sure, some people have like, they might start out with a disadvantage or whatever, but like if you really fucking put your mind to it, like we can all fucking have a good life and make it happen, you know? But that's mad cope so that you can remain unempathetic to people. You know what I mean? Like it's so silly. It's very quick to discover that that isn't true. It is so like that is one of the quickest turnarounds, I think. And I think a lot of people know that instinctively. I think even Charlie knew that, right? Because he was faced with that question a lot of the time, especially when talking about disadvantaged people with like pregnancy and everything. It's like, hey, like, why don't you fucking care about these women who are like, do not have any resources? Maybe they're in an abusive relationship. Maybe they have $0 fucking dollars to their name. Like, what about them and their ability to raise a baby? And he would literally say like, well, there are churches. A church will help you out immediately. Even I think Ben Shapiro in one of these fucking debate forums was like, you know, talking to a woman who was considering having a baby or maybe aborting it, and he's like, we'll take care of you. And it's like, interesting. It's interesting that you're saying that you're going to take care of this woman or that you're going to put her in contact with resources. That is what the government can do. We can definitely have a system in place where people are taken care of. But they just like, they never wanted to acknowledge that people like do have shitty circumstances, and that matters a lot, a lot, a lot.